All right, I'm excited tonight to talk about this topic because it is one of the most important topics for Amazon sellers when it comes to sourcing the inventory that you're going to sell on Amazon. How you can find better, faster selling inventory that will not tank in price, because that's always the worst case scenario, right? You buy inventory, it's profitable, it's got a great sales rank, you send it to Amazon, and all of a sudden the competitors are like, you know what? I'm going to make this not profitable anymore. And they start like lowering the prices, and you're like, what are you doing? Why are you lowering the prices? I mean, if you understand the buy box at all, you don't have to be the lowest price to get the buy box. So stop trying to be the lowest price. The lowest price, when competitors start trying to lower their prices to get the next sale, it starts a race to the bottom, and no one wins the race to the bottom. Well, I have figured out how to know ahead of time, before you actually buy the inventory item, whether or not it's probably going to tank in price or hold steady with the price, or maybe even have a price that goes up. And that is awesome. Really, that's always really good, especially when Q4 comes. When Q4 comes, it's really important to make really good sourcing decisions, because you want to sell your inventory as fast as possible so you can get that money back as fast as possible so you can reinvest it into more faster selling inventory that you can sell as soon as possible during Q4. So we're recording this in October, and we are, trying to make sure that we make really good decisions with our sourcing capital. So there's some people out there who have a lot of sourcing capital to work with. God bless you. There's some others of us that have less sourcing capital, and we want to make good decisions. We don't want to lose money on the items that we're buying to sell on Amazon, obviously, and that happens sometimes. Well, this webinar is going to help lower the chances, lower the possibilities of you losing money on an inventory buy, because it will have items that do not tank in price, and for you to make better sourcing decisions. All right. So as we get into the webinar today, a few things I want to make sure you know. If you are not on our mailing list, be sure to get on our mailing list. The best way to do that right now, go to fulltimefba.com/seller central tips. This is a free ebook that you get by joining our email list. It is a free ebook that you can download. It talks about reimbursements, refunds, how to correct other possible Amazon glitches where things might not work right, and you might be the person who pays for that little glitch. Well, I want to help you fix those. There's a lot of different glitches where you might not get reimbursed for an item that's not returned to you, or maybe there's some other problems in Seller Central that you can fix pretty easily. These are Seller Central tips. fulltimefba.com/Seller Central tips. You can get that free download by going to that link. By signing up to our email newsletter, you'll also get our Amazon seller acronyms, where you can learn what all these letters and number combinations mean when you are hearing people on Facebook or in our full-time FBA Facebook group talking about LTSF, or talking about WAGs, or talking about ASINs, or other things like that. What do these things mean? This is an acronym sheet that can help you understand that. And of course, our famous sales rank chart, where I have broken down every main category on Amazon, the total number of items in each category, and where the top 1%, which usually means faster sales, top 2%, top 3%, top 5%, and top 10%, what sales rank numbers match up with that sales rank chart, so you can kind of see, because a a 500,000 sales rank in toys is totally different than a 500,000 sales rank in books. 500,000 sales rank in books, that's a good seller. That's a quick seller. 500,000 sales rank in toys, not so much. So this kind of gives you a perspective on which sales rank numbers work best in each category. fulltimefba.com/seller central tips. You'll join our email newsletter. If you're already on our email newsletter, you get this sales rank chart sent to you once a month anyway. Every month they update it with the latest numbers, so you can make smarter sourcing decisions. So that goes right along well with this particular webinar that we're talking about tonight. So you might be wondering, you said this is going to be 60 to 30 or 60 to 90 minutes. Am I in the right place? Well, if this connects with you, if you can relate to this, then you're in the right place. If you're an Amazon seller who wants to sell your items faster than they're selling right now, you're in the right place. If you want to source inventory that actually sells at the prices you expect them to sell, yeah, you're in the right place. If you are tired of other sellers tanking the prices that you're selling, you're in the right place. And by tanking, I mean like completely lowering the price where it's not profitable anymore. You are in the right place, all right? So who am I? Why should you trust me? My name is Steven Smotherman. This is a picture of me and my family standing on the Globe Life Field Stadium the artificial turf. We got to take a tour and got to play catch on the outfield. It was a lot of fun. Just yesterday, Aaron Judge hit home run number 62 right over this place where we were standing. We weren't standing there at the time, obviously, but this was a fun place for us to be. Anyway, I just wanted you to see a picture of me and my family. Rebecca's my wife. I have 4 boys, and the oldest is grown and gone, and so I got a college kid, 2 high schoolers. That's my family. I started selling online in 1998. I loved eBay. It was a lot of fun. But there was a time when I was unemployed and freshly divorced and trying to find a way to, as a single dad of 4 kids, to raise them and be able to support them. I tried to figure out how to make eBay a full-time job, but that didn't work. But what did work was selling fulfillment by Amazon, sending all my inventory to Amazon and having Amazon fulfill those orders and ship them to my customers. It's been an awesome experience because of that. I started in 2011. In 2012, I was named a top holiday seller. That means I was at the top selling numbers of all Amazon sellers in the top 25%. So I was better than 3/4 of the rest when it comes to sales numbers during Q4 of 2012. And one of the reasons why I was able to do that was because of what I'm going to teach you tonight. I was able to do really great by having inventory items that sold at higher prices and had prices that are consistent and have really helped me out a lot. So 2012 was last year they did that particular award, but it was fun having Amazon give me an award. So that was 2012. 2013 is when I married Rebecca. She became an amazing stepmom. Also encouraged me to start the Full-Time FBA blog. And we started our blog together, helping other people turn part-time hours into a full-time income. Selling on Amazon. 2019, we started the Full-Time FBA Show podcast. I know a lot of you are listeners of that show. I have a new episode that drops every week that helps you turn part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon. So that's me. Hopefully this is something that will help you make better sourcing decisions because it helped me a lot. And let's get right into that today. All right. So how many of you experienced this before? You buy an item, say you find a Mr. Coffee item. It's selling on Amazon for $29.99 and you can buy it for $7, brand new, $7. Maybe it's on clearance, maybe it's on sale, but you buy it for $7 and you're like, oh, this is awesome. The lowest price is $29.99. I'm going to make some good money on this. In fact, I might buy 4 or 5 of them if I can. But then what happens? You box it up, you send it to Amazon, and then the lowest price goes down to $24.99. Then the lowest price goes down to $20.99. Then the lowest price is like $15.99. And like all your profits are gone. There's no room for any type of profits. Maybe you'll break even after Amazon fees. And that is a really frustrating experience. I know I've experienced that before. I'm sure you've probably experienced that before. That's what I want to teach you how to avoid, because when it comes to avoiding tanking prices on Amazon, there's a few things that you need to understand. The first thing you need to understand is when you make unprofitable inventory decisions, that leads to tanking prices and slow sales, which leads to smaller profits or even potentially loss. We don't want that, right? That's why you're here. You want to avoid this particular situation. You want it to be a better situation so that you can make better sourcing decisions. Unprofitable inventory decisions look like this. Items that just take months and months to sell. I don't even know if you could tell the frustration in my sigh. I remember what that used to be like. I don't experience this anymore. My items usually sell within the first 30 to 45 days. So it usually takes less than a month for my inventory items to sell when I send it to Amazon. Yeah, there's a few that take longer than that, but my inventory is selling fast. My goal is to always have it sell the first week it's an Amazon warehouse. And I can just continue to restocking my items on Amazon and continue to be making that money. So if you're if you are having items that take months and months to sell, you're making unprofitable inventory decisions. If you have items that you need to constantly reprice in order to get the sale, then you are making unprofitable inventory decisions. If you are having items that just sell every once in a while, but maybe you went too deep and now you have to deal with, lots of monthly storage fees, maybe even getting to a point of paying long-term storage fees for these items that aren't selling, that's because you made an unprofitable inventory decision. If you've got items that you end up having to remove or destroying because they never sell, it's because you've made an unprofitable inventory decision. I will help break down why you're making those unprofitable inventory decisions soon, but this is this is the reality that a lot of Amazon sellers are experiencing: unprofitable inventory decisions. Here's the problem. What most people think about when they're sourcing it for profitable inventory, they've got their phone, they're out doing retail arbitrage, they're scanning barcodes, or maybe they are doing online arbitrage, and maybe they've got a tool that kind of breaks down the main numbers when they scan websites, or they're looking in certain stores online trying to find a really good deal. They're comparing their prices to Amazon. When most people think about when they're sourcing for profitable inventory, the first one is it going to make me money? What's the ROI? What's the return on investment? If this item sells, will it make me a profit? Obviously, we know we need to make a profit. So that's an obvious thing that we look at, ROI. What's the profit going to be? And then after we see that an item will be profitable, when we decide we need to make a good choice or a bad choice, we need to look at the sales rank next. Will this item sell quickly? When we look at the sales rank for most Amazon sellers is an indicator of if an item is going to sell quickly. If it has a good sales rank, which is a lower number, maybe it's in the top 1% of a particular category, on the day that you're sourcing that item, maybe you might think has a good sales rank. Will this item sell quickly? So when you're looking at these two things, that's usually what most Amazon sellers look at when they're sourcing, and that's it. They look at what the profit is and what the sales rank is. And I get it. We want to spend as least amount of time possible sourcing so we can buy that inventory, get it in the cart, whether a physical cart at the store or the digital cart in the top corner of your web browser when you're browsing a web store. We look at that. Profitable, what's the sales? It has a good sales rank, all right? So when we're out doing maybe retail arbitrage, we're either using the Amazon Seller app or we're using Scoutify. There's lots of other ones out there. They give us this information, we can look at what the profit is. Oh, hey, I can make about $4.50 or so every time I sell this particular toy. And the sales rank, all right, 7,487 in toys. All right, so this has a good sales rank and it's going to be profitable. Maybe I should clear the shelf and buy them all. And that's usually all we look at. But that leads to, if that's all you're looking at, that leads to making unprofitable inventory decisions. That could lead to tanking prices. That could lead to having months and months of your item on the shelf at Amazon not selling. We want to make better sourcing decisions. We want to sell better, faster selling inventory by making profitable inventory decisions. And those profitable inventory decisions lead to stronger prices and frequent sales, which leads to higher profits and disbursements. Now, this is probably what you want and what you expect, but is it what you're experiencing? So better, faster selling inventory is what the goal is and what you should expect when it comes to selling on Amazon. So if you're wanting to make profitable inventory decisions, you need to realize a few key things. Number one, realize how often things change on Amazon. When you're looking at today's profit margin, when you're looking at the current sales rank, that is changing often because Amazon reprices their products 2.5 million times a day. And that's just the items that Amazon is selling, their own products. Amazon is repricing their products 2.5 million times a day. To give you some perspective, Walmart changes their prices on their website about 200,000 times a month. So Amazon changing it 2.5 million times a day, that is a lot of price changes. On top of that, third-party sellers repricing their products all the time. I have a repricer, an automatic repricer. My automatic repricer goes in every 15 minutes and updates the price to be competitive, to either to be raised if maybe my competition sells out, or to maybe lower it a little bit and not go beyond my minimum price that I set. My prices are changing every 15 minutes, and there's an upgrade option that I have with my repricer that I could pay for, or I don't, that updates it every 5 minutes. So prices of third-party sellers are repricing their stuff all the time on Amazon. So prices are changing all the time. Not only that, sales ranks are updated once an hour. If you look on the Amazon guidelines, the information about sales rank, it says that the Amazon bestseller calculation is based on Amazon.com sales, and it's updated hourly to reflect recent and historical sales of every item sold on Amazon. So the sales rank is changing 24 times a day. Prices are changing every 5 to 15 minutes for those using Repricers. So prices are changing all the time. Sales rank is changing all the time. This is why you need to understand. This is why you make unprofitable inventory buying decisions, because you're just looking at the current sales rank or the current pricing. You need to go just a little bit deeper with your inventory purchases. So first, realize how often things change on Amazon. That's the first thing to know. Number two, understand that you need more information than a single snapshot in time to make a profitable inventory decision. All right. So again, when you're looking, maybe doing retail arbitrage and you're looking at the profits, all right, will you be able to expect about a $4 profit in the future? If there's a $4 profit right now, do you expect the sales rank to remain the same? Remember, sales ranks are changing 24 times a day. Profits and prices are changing all the time. You need to make a better decisions. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says, you make your money on the buy, not the sell. This is true in any investment, whether it's real estate, business, or the stock market. And I've always thought that was a weird, how many of you here have heard of that quote before? You make your money on the buy. And I was like, nope, I make my money on the sell when I get the cash back. But this is what he means. You make your money on the buy by making a good buying decision. When we make better sourcing decisions, better buying decisions, then that's the number one skill we need to strengthen. That's the number one muscle when it comes to our Amazon business that we need to get a lot of reps in and a lot of repetition, make some mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and use the right tools to help us make better buying decisions. So you make your money on the buy. So to make profitable inventory decisions, realize how often things change on Amazon. Prices are changing, sales ranks are changes. Understand you need more information than a single snapshot in time to make a profitable sourcing decision. Number three, this is the answer. Look at Keepa to better predict future sales and prices. Keepa is an app that tracks almost every single item on Amazon, sales rank history, pricing history, so much more information so that you can look at pricing trends, sales rank trends. You can look at, Keepa has a ton of information to break down to make a better buying decision. It is possible to look at a Keepa graph, how those numbers are graphed, and just take 2 or 3 seconds and know whether or not this is a winner, I need to buy it, or this is not a winner, I need to leave it on the shelf. I'm going to show you on your screen, on my screen actually, a Keepa graph in action. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know how much I love Keepa, how often I use it. You can get Keepa yourself, fulltimefba.com/Keepa, but I want to walk you through what a Keepa graph looks like, kind of how to read it, and how to make a good sourcing decision with Keepa. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to end this right here. There's a great website. You should check it out sometime, fulltimefba.com. All right, so you go to fulltimefba.com/Keepa. It takes you to this. There's a lot of really great information for you to see with Keepa. It's got international prices as well as for US daily deals that show you which items have recently dropped in price and are a really great deal. Price history charts for both new, used, Amazon, buy box, lots of price information. You have a lot of ways that you can track products, whether with pricing dropping or availability alerts, a lot of stuff that you can do. But Keepa is awesome, and it's very flexible no matter where you are or what Amazon platform that you are on. Like I have mine set up for Amazon.com, but look, you can change if you want to look at the Keepa information from Canada, Mexico. If you want to look at the UK or France or Spain or Japan, there's lots of different options out there for you to choose which works best. I have mine set up for the US dollar, but you can change your currency setting for whatever currency you are in. How about language? There's different languages that you can set up in Keepa. It's very flexible, and I love being able to use Keepa to make a good sourcing decision. So let me show you an empty Keepa graph. This is a Paw Patrol Zuma's hovercraft vehicle with collectible figure for kids age 3 and up. So this is an item that's selling on Amazon, but you don't see any information. I'm going to click new here. This is the last 3 months of, I think it's last 3 months. I'll make sure it's last 3 months. Last 3 months information for the price changes. This is the new price. Now what this is, Keepa goes in multiple times a day and grabs the current low price of a new item on Amazon and puts it in this graph. So you can see just over the span of 3 months how the price has gone up and down and has changed. You can also, if you use the paid subscription of Keepa, because there's free stuff that you can get with Keepa. There's also paid. I totally recommend the paid version because it is completely worth every penny. I'd probably pay 8 times the cost of the Keepa subscription to get that information because I cannot do my Amazon business without Keepa making good decisions. It also gives you the Amazon prices. So you can see Amazon is in stock. Amazon is in stock in the shaded area. So in the last 3 months, Amazon's been in stock this whole time. A lot of people don't like competing against Amazon. So how would you like to know in the past how long Amazon's been in stock? You can do that. You can also look at the sales rank, turn on the sales rank, and Keepa tracks the sales rank of this particular item. And you can see a lot of the information just by scrolling across with your cursor. And you can see the cursor showing you exactly what the information is at different times. The sales rank, how the sales rank has changed so much. And you can look at even more information. You can take a look at the last year if that item has been here. So you can look here. This white area is when Amazon's been out of stock. The shaded area is when Amazon's been in stock. Good information to have. Oh, hey, look, last year during Q4, Amazon was out of stock. What happened to the prices? This is a new price right here, the blue line, the lowest new price. The prices went up during Q4 when Amazon was out of stock. So you can kind of make a good buying decision or a good sourcing decision based off of that information. And so there's a lot of different things you can do with Keepa. There's even more information. You can look at the historical data. That opens up another tab that tracks the number of new offers for a particular item. You can also look at used offers. That's pretty rare when there's a used offer. But if you want to look at used prices, you can do that too. Used prices, and you can kind of see for yourself what an item sold for is used. Collectible prices, lots of information. One of the most important ones that I've seen, I'm going to turn everything off except sales rank, is the buy box price. So you can look at the buy box history and make a good choice of what to expect in the future. So pretty much all year, the price has gone up a little bit. So the lowest buy box price looks like it's $10.49. The highest buy box price looks like it's $17.99. So it's pretty close. So you can kind of understand what kind of prices to expect in the future, and what kind of things that you can see whether or not it's a good buying decision or not. So again, looking at the last year, I'm gonna put Amazon back in there. I'm gonna put the new price back in there. Another cool thing with Keepa is if you want to zoom in on some information in the past, you can do that. You can hold your cursor down, scroll across, and zoom into that. So there's Q4 and January of last year for this particular item. And you can see, boy, Amazon was out of stock for a long time until the new year. Then they kind of got back into stock. Then they were out of stock again. So some good information for you to look at. Some people think it might be too much information, which is why sometimes I just like to turn on the, Amazon, the new, and the sales rank in the buy box. I just want to look at that information. Sometimes I'll even turn off the new and just look at the buy box information. So it's got tracking stuff for used in different conditions. So if you like to sell used books or used items in collectible, there's tracking options for that. But a lot of really great information for you to look at to make a quality sourcing decision. So that's just a quick little intro to Keepa. We'll come back to that in a little bit to kind of make to kind of break it down a little bit more. But as we're walking, just make sure as we're walking. As we're talking, just make sure that if you have any questions, put them in the questions section so I can come back to that. But let me show you a few examples of screenshots that I found of Keepa graphs that's really helped me avoid items that tank in price or are just bad overall buying decisions. Here is a Keepa graph taken 4 hours apart from, or actually 3.5 hours apart from each other. So Friday, August 18th, 6:33. This particular item was ranked 7,232,000 in this particular category. And for most people, that's not a comfortable sales rank that they would like. But then one sale drastically improves the sales rank of that particular item. And so in just 3 hours, that sales rank went to 454,078 in sales rank, which might be a more comfortable sales rank for you. Maybe if it's like a home and kitchen item, or another item in another category where you feel like that's a lot better. So if you had sourced this particular item at 6:33, you would have been like, nope, that's going back on the shelf. I'm not going to buy it. But if you did it just a few hours later, 10:03, you might think, oh, this is a good sales rank. I'm going to buy 5 of them. And it's the exact same item. So just by looking at a Keepa graph, looking at the past information when it comes to the pricing and sales rank history, then you can make a much better sourcing decision by looking at a Keepa graph. Here's another one. Here's a Keepa graph with the historical information of the number of competitors selling this particular item. So if you are sourcing this item, let's say it's March 16th. You source this item on March 16th, and you're like, okay, it's selling for about $30. The sales rank is really good. It's only like 60,000 in sales rank. Maybe this is a toy. 60,000 in sales rank. It's really good. You know, I'll buy that item. But what if that same toy, you're actually sourcing this on like April 15th, and you look and you're like, this item has a sales rank in like 230,000. So I'm not going to buy an item that's a toy that's ranked 230,000. I'm not going to do that at all. I'm going to put it back on the shelf. But if you took just a few seconds and looked at a Keepa graph, and you would say like, oh, the reason why the sales rank is so high is because there's this time where the item was out of stock. If the item is out of stock, it can't sell. So no sales means an increased sales rank. So you can see when the item came back in stock, boom, it immediately sold. So there's 0 in stock right here for this particular item, so the sales rank went up. So again, you're sourcing it back here in March, and you're going to buy this item every single day. But you know, like a month later, and you look at it, and you're just looking at the sales rank, and you're like, oh, bad sales rank, I'm going to keep moving. That would be a big, huge mistake by passing up on that opportunity to make a better buying decision. So I want you to know just how important Keepa is in making those sourcing decisions, right? So when you realize how often things change on Amazon, you understand that you need more information than a single snapshot in time, and you look at Keepa, it changes everything. So when you're out doing sourcing, when it comes to like a retail arbitrage, you know, there's the Amazon Seller app, which is free. Then there's Scoutify, which is not free, but it has a paid subscription. It comes with Inventory Lab. Is there a link in the Amazon Seller app so you look at a Keepa graph? No, there's not a link in Amazon Seller app, but you can put a link in Scoutify to look at a Keepa graph of an item on Keepa. So you like say I scan this particular Parks and Rec Andy Dwyer collectible figure. How do I find the Keepa graph link? I click the research button, and I've already put a quick link in the research section to quickly go with one click to a Keepa graph. So you go to fulltimefba.com/inventory lab. That's how you can get Scoutify. Let me show you how to, well, not show you, but show you where you can learn how to put a Keepa graph into a Scoutify sourcing app. So you can put a quick link to the Keepa graph on a Scoutify sourcing app. Go to fulltimefba.com/add-Keepa. That will walk you through the steps to add a Keepa graph to your Scoutify sourcing app if you're using that. If you are not using Scoutify, it's the #1 sourcing app that I use because I can add a quick Keepa graph. You can get Scoutify with a monthly inventory lab subscription, fulltimefba.com/inventory lab, and it's one of the best decisions I've made to have both of those, Keepa and inventory lab, working together with Scoutify to make better sourcing decisions. All right. All right, let's go back to Keepa, look at a few other things. Again, if you have questions about Keepa or anything, be sure to put those in the questions section, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. All right, so here's another Keepa graph. Disney's Frozen Elsa fashion doll. What can we see by this? Okay, again, this up until about August 12th, Amazon was in stock. The prices stayed pretty consistent. And so if you're pricing this item, or if you're sourcing this item on August 10th of this year, you would probably be like, nope, not going to sell it, not going to send it into Amazon because Amazon's in stock and they are selling it at a really low price. But then boom, Amazon goes out of stock, prices jump. And you can see right here, there's little times of shades when Amazon comes back in stock, but they're not in stock consistently, especially going into Q4. I mean, this might be a really great toy for Q4 of this year because you can see Amazon is out of stock most of the time. And what happens to the prices when Amazon's out of stock? It is pretty high. So let's turn on the buy box price to kind of see. You can see sometimes even the buy box is even higher, like right here on September 25th, the buy box $18.87 for this particular item, selling that maybe you could have sourced it for $7.49, sold it on Amazon for $18.87 or whatever. But you can make really good sourcing decisions, much better sourcing decisions when you are using a Keepa graph. And the more you use Keepa, the more you get used to it, and you can get to a place where you're only like looking at a Keepa graph for a few seconds, and you know whether or not it's a winner or it's not. So that's something for you to think about when you are making your sourcing decisions. All right. So let's talk about a few more things. We'll get to some questions in just a second. But price tanking prices, that's what you want to avoid. You buy this Star Wars action figure for $9. The lowest FBA price is $33.99. Oh no, now the lowest price is $26.99. Now it's $21.99. Now it's $15.99. Again, you're hardly making anything, maybe even taking a loss after Amazon takes their fees out, and you're just really frustrated. Here's something you need to understand about pricing. It's the cold, hard truth that I want to tell you. I love you. I'm all about speaking the truth and love. This is the truth. Prices are always going to be fluid. They're always going to be going up and down. But making better sourcing decisions will lower the chances that your competition will lower their prices. In fact, it could increase your chances that the prices will go up. So here's the situation. If prices have gone down, most likely the supply is now outweighing the demand. It's a simple supply and demand graph. If supply goes up and demand does not go up to meet it, then prices go down. When supply goes up, prices go down. When supply goes down, that's when prices go up, right? It's simple supply and demand. So maybe if you practice some patience, the prices will recover. And how can you know if the prices were going to recover? Well, take a look at what's happened in the past. Here's a Keepa graph where you can see, again, I've got the number of new offers. These are all your competitors if you're selling this Paw Patrol Rebels Mountain Rescue track set. You can see right here, the supply was about 40 sellers. And you don't even know how many inventory items those sellers have, but that number of sellers is what's contributing to the supply. The cool thing with Keepa is you can't actually see how many they have in stock. I'll talk about that in a second. But when the supply starts going down, what happens to price? Prices start going up. And when the supply goes back up again, what happens to prices? Prices go down. So when you are looking at a Keepa graph, if you are sourcing on like this day right here, and you see in the past, there's like a hockey stick of the number of suppliers going up, this item is going to tank in price. All right, this is how you can avoid tanking prices when you're sourcing, by looking at the historical information and seeing when you see the number of competitors start to go up, that means the price is going to go down, and it's going to go down pretty quickly. And as you can see, the number of competitors are slowly going away because they're selling out their stuff, and the prices start to recover a little bit. I just have a screenshot of this. I don't have a full interactive Keepa graph on this, but you can kind of see what happens when the supply is down. You love to see the supply down because that's when prices are up. But if the supply is trending upward, most likely the prices are going to be going downward. Unless it's a super hot toy that everyone wants at Christmas time, then then it's everyone for themselves. But you want to make a better sourcing decision to avoid those tanking prices. Here's what to do. Don't just look at the current price, but look at the price history. If you're sourcing inventory at a big sale at a major retail store, understand that hundreds of other online sellers are probably doing the same. So the end of summer clearance sale at Target is a well-known to resellers time where people get a lot of clearance items. But then Amazon, this is has tons of those inventory items at the warehouse, and the prices go down. So don't just stock up a lot at nationwide clearance sales. Clearance is good to source at, but you need to be smart with it, or need to be patient with it, because when the Amazon warehouses start to be filled with all of these particular items, the prices go down. But when those prices go down, most of them will recover once that supply starts to get low. So don't just look at the current price, look at the price history. If you're sourcing at a big box sale, now understand other resellers are going to be doing it. Unless you're willing to wait it out, don't go too deep on an item at one of those major retail clearance sales, all right? And don't be a self-fulfilling prophecy by complaining about prices tanking and then responding by blindly lowering your own prices, all right? Sometimes when we're outsourcing, we need to just realize we made a mistake, and there's times where we need to lower our price. There's times don't hear me say never lower your price. No, there are some times where you need to lower your price. If you made a mistake, you might be time. Here's a time where maybe you've made a mistake. Say right here on this particular date, you sourced this item thinking that $66.64 is like the usual price. It had a decent sales rank, selling for $66, $64, but out of the last year, that's what I've got selected here. So you got 12 months of information here, and only maybe half a month or a month out of the year, the prices are I would even say half a month out of the year, the prices are that profitable. The rest of the time, the prices are pretty consistent. In fact, it almost looks like a straight line where the prices are. So maybe you sourced it at this price and you just are expecting it to come back, but you can look at a Keepa graph again and look at the past so you can better predict the future, and just say it's probably not, the price is probably not going to go up again that high. I just need to lower my price, get some capital back, and move on with my Amazon business. So some good stuff to think about when you are making decisions. So find out what went wrong. If you made a mistake, you need to lower your price so you can learn from that situation so you don't make a similar mistake in the future. That's how you should always act when it comes to what you are trying to do and the decisions you're trying to make. I'm going to go back to keepa.com, show you a few other things that are really good, then we're going to get to some Q&A, all right? So if you want to follow along, you can go to fulltimefba.com/Keepa. All right, so here we go. Frozen, Shimmer, Elsa doll. There's some other really good information to look at. I've already told you about clicking on the more historical information data. That opens up the competitors. I only got the new offers. If you're selling it as used or collectible, you can look at those particular offers. You can even look at ratings and reviews and kind of see how that's reacted over the span of time. So you can look here and see, again, you got the supply going down a little bit. What happens? The price goes up. So I've had a few of you in the questions section ask me to talk a little bit about the statistics. If you hover over the statistics, it gives you really good information of averages over time. So you can look at and see this particular toy, the lowest sales rank it's ever been has been a 12. The current sales rank is 17,000. The highest it's been 1.1 million. But the averages I like to look at are sales ranks. So sales rank averages, it's averaged over the last 3 months, 10,916. So when I say do not make your sourcing decision based on the current sales rank, I mean instead look at the sales rank history. Sometimes you can look at a graph and kind of eye what the probably average sales rank history is, or you can hover over the statistic graph and look and see what the average sales rank history of over the last 3 months has been, and then take that sales rank and compare it to where it stands in that sales rank chart that I talked about at the beginning. Being able to go, if you do not have a sales rank chart, you can go to fulltimefba.com/sales rank chart and get that. Either that link or fulltimefba.com/sales rank. I can't remember. Another good thing to know are the number of drops. Now, we're actually about to release a YouTube video about this, but drops are very important. A drop is basically, and excuse me while I cough, drops are anytime the sales rank number goes from a high number to a low number. And when a sales rank goes from a high number to a low number, it means at least one sale. Drops do not equal sales. Drops equal at least one sale per drop. So when you're hovering over the statistics graph, when you look at the 90-day average, because you can see drops 90-day average, you can go over to the sales rank column and see 103 drops per month is the average. That means at least 103 sales per month. And the closer you get to a good sales rank, the closer you get to the sales rank of 1, then it multiplies exponentially. So it's good to know those drop numbers so you can kind of know how many items to expect to sell. And it's not just sales for any Amazon seller. That's the number of sales to expect for all Amazon sellers. Amazon as a seller and all the people who are competitively priced and get in the buy box. 103 drops per month is a good number. I mean, that's a really good consistent seller over time, and good to know. So you can look also at pricing averages as well. Again, you don't look at just today's current price. Take a look at the average price over time. And you can look at that when it comes to Amazon's average prices, the new party prices, and it is interactive for almost every item on Amazon. So the statistics graph is really good to know and understand when it comes to making a good sourcing decision. So let me show you one more thing and then we'll get into the questions. All right, I'm going to do Nike women's running shoe, and it loads up, and we'll take a look at this particular item here. It loads up on the screen. So shoes have different sizes and different colors. You want to know which variation is selling of a particular item better than others. Keepa has a variations tab. So you can look at that variations tab. It loads up all the variations for this particular shoe. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer, the more variations that there are. But you can take a look at this and make a better sourcing decisions. This is actually taking a little bit longer than usual. Here's why. Over 106 variations. So there's 106 rows, 106 variations. So what you can do is sort it when it comes to ratings and reviews. In fact, it's already sorted right now from most to least. You see this little trophy icon here? This means it's won the best selling variation. So you can look and see, all right, this particular variation, the Air Max 720 white black AH6789100 size 8. It's received over 169 ratings. So you know, the more ratings an item has, the more sales it's going to have. People don't just give a rating or a review for a particular item on Amazon unless it's been sold. So You can see that this one's got the most at 169. The next one, 167, 165. So you can see which variation, which colors, which sizes are selling the best of variations, so you can make a good sourcing decision. So Keepa really has some really great information when buying items with variations, not just shoes or clothing, but also toys. There are certain variations that are like, different characters of a certain TV show on a toy, or things like that. There's grocery variations when it comes to different, sizes or different mixtures of stuff put together. Keepa helps you make smarter sourcing decisions, and I can't source without Keepa, and I don't think you should either. Excuse me. Ben Franklin, our old buddy Ben, says the best investment is in the tools of one's own trade. And Keepa is a tool that I do not think I want to run my Amazon business without. I use Keepa all day long, every day, and I've been doing it for years. I feel like Keepa, when you finally learn how to use it properly, can not only help you avoid tanking prices, but help you find inventory that sells faster and holds its price. There's times where you can buy an item when it's priced low on Amazon, because you see it's a seasonal item, and you can look into the past with Keepa and be like, oh my goodness, when it comes in season, this thing triples in price, and buy it really cheap now, and when it's in season a month from now, you can sell it for 3 times as much. Keepa helps you, like, it's very predictable, looking into the past to best predict the future. And we put together a course. It's a 100% video course, 5 hours of laser focused training, the Reseller's Guide to Keepa, using Amazon sales history to make smart sourcing decisions. There's 30 videos. There's 4 free bonuses. There's lifetime updates. In fact, we are updating this course all the time. When Keepa or Amazon changes how they do things, we go in and update the course. 60-day money-back guarantee. You can get it fulltimefba.com/Keepa course, and a limited time coupon code, SAVE20 at checkout, will save you $20. Not only that, very soon we will be raising the price. This course has not had a price increase in a while, and we just keep adding to it and adding more stuff. And so the price is going to be going up. It's just priced too low for the value that is delivered. And so the price is going up, but I want to give you an opportunity before we do that to get this, and not only that, use this coupon code, SAVE20 to save $20 off. We walk through a lot of stuff, and more stuff about parent-child variations. We talk about seasonal, making seasonal decisions when it comes to a Keepa graph, to be able to, again, know what sales are going to, and pricing, and what to expect in the future based on what's gone on in the past. Keepa also helps you know how deep to go in a buy. Should you buy 4 of them, or should you buy 40? Keepa can help you make a better decision with that. Keepa also can show you really good things that you can do Amazon to Amazon flips, where again, you can buy an item at a lower price and sell it on Amazon at a much higher price. Keepa is amazing. Again, I think on our podcast, the Full-Time FBA Show, I talk about Keepa more than anything else. It is the #1 tool that we use. It helps us make better sourcing decisions. It helps us avoid a lot of mistakes. It makes us a lot of money being able to learn this. And there's so much to learn and so much to break down. What I've shown you in this webinar is just scratching the surface of what is possible when it comes to Keepa. So this is the Reseller's Guide to Keepa. Is what's going to help you revolutionize your Amazon business. The cool thing also is that Keepa comes with an app that you can just look on your phone, and you can look at Keepa graphs on your phone. And again, also I showed you how you can get the Keepa graph in a Scoutify sourcing app. So we're going to transition over into questions in just a second. And so if you do have questions about the course or about Keepa, let me know. I'll do my best to help you out. So let me look at some of the questions that are going on here. Mark says a good buying decision will always pay off. Absolutely, Mark, that's for sure. To use the data tab on the Keepa graph to make a decision on selling a product. Sometimes. Let me show you the data tab and maybe some of the information that I use. So here's the data tab. It loads up. Again, it's loading up a lot of information, so it's going to take a little bit of time. But you can look at stuff like, you can see these are all the variation ASINs. So you can actually go, if you're ever actually looking for a variation ASIN of an item that's sold out, and you want to look at stuff on Amazon, you can use this graph to see the other child variation ASINs on there, because maybe an ASIN is suppressed from Amazon because it's out of stock, but you still want to look at that particular ASIN. Here's a list of all the ASINs that go on with this particular parent ASIN for there. But you can look at a lot of good information to see. Again, you can look at 30, 60, 90-day averages, 180-day averages. I mean, when you're looking at about half the year, 6 months averages when it comes to sales rank, that's really good when it comes to what to really expect moving forward, because you just saw what the average was for the last 6 months. So that's really good. You can look at the average number of drops over time, and a lot of good information. So for the most part, I don't go this deep. There are just rare situations when I do go this deep to look at the data tab. Maybe the buy box average over 90 days to see when it comes to pricing, or 180-day average when it comes to buy box. Again, to see what to expect in the future. But overall, most of the time, all I do is look at this part of it, or this part of the graph, and I can see whether or not I want to buy it or not. So it's every once in a while I'll look at a data tab. That's a good question, Ron. Thank you for asking that. When reviewing sales history to make a decision on Q4 buys, how do you know whether last year's pricing pattern will hold? That's a good question. You don't know for sure. There's no guarantees in life, obviously. But what you can do is see what happened last year before Q4, and see if what happened before Q4 when it comes to pricing or sales rank history, how things acted in regards to Q4 of last year. Then you can look at right now's averages to see what maybe to expect for this year's Q4. Because obviously there's times where an item is really popular one year and it's not going to be as popular the next year. But it's still going to be popular. It's still going to be selling. And so if you can see like, oh, in August and September, the price was around here and the sales rank was around here, and then, of last year, so of August and September of last year, the price and sales rank was around here, but then in Q4, this is how it exploded. Well, this year, the August and September price and sales rank isn't as good, but it's still kind of good. So maybe I'll get a kind of explosion this year in Q4. So the more you spend time with Keepa, the more you will get comfortable with reading the Keepa graph and kind of knowing what to expect. It's because also different sales rank categories have their own personalities. And so when it comes to reading a sales rank chart, sales rank graph, and pricing graph and stuff, it's kind of different for every sales rank category. So, but the more you sell, the more you've been doing it. I'm coming up on, I think 10 years now, selling on Amazon. No, over 10 years actually. I've spent a lot of time with this, and the more time that you spend, the more you're going to get it, and it's worth the time invested. It's worth making the mistakes, learning from those mistakes, so that you can do better next year. Are there categories that tend to have better predictable pricing patterns? I think overall, most of them are pretty much the same. I would think the office category might be some extreme numbers and unpredictability when it comes to those categories. But, when it comes to the main categories like home and kitchen, electronics, toys, groceries, some of the main categories, books, they're pretty predictable to what to expect. Any categories that are more volatile? Not that I can think of, but thanks for asking. On that toy where Amazon has sold out last year of Q4, can you confidently expect that they'll likely sell out again this year? Well, if Amazon sold out before, then they might. Like, Amazon is really big on data too. We're wanting to use this information of Amazon sales rank history and pricing history to make a better decision for the future. Well, Amazon has even more information that they have access to make better sourcing and pricing decisions on the stuff that they're selling as well. And so most likely if they went out of stock, they might, know how that particular item has been trending throughout the year to make better preparations for Q4 of this year. So I wouldn't guarantee it or expect them to make the same mistake and not go as deep as they should have. And so I wouldn't put any money on it and like literal money on inventory, just thinking, oh, Amazon's going to go out of stock. I like to just see if they've been going in and out of stock recently, then most likely they're going to continue to go in and out of stock in the recent upcoming time, not recent, in the present time that's upcoming. So good question, BG. What's the best way to use Keepa to prevent IP complaints? So Keepa is not, so IP complaints, it's intellectual property. There's not a way to use Keepa to really avoid the intellectual property. The only times that maybe you can guess that there's been an intellectual property complaint on an item is if there is a drastic drop in price for a particular item. Maybe it's priced really well, like for $20, $25 or something like that. And then like in one day, it drops down to like 10, 15, drastic price drops might mean that a brand owner or a intellectual property owner has filed a complaint, and those sellers are like, I just want to sell out this stuff as soon as possible. I want to get this stuff out of my inventory. I want to sell it as fast as possible before the actual sales page gets suppressed because of this intellectual property complaint, IP complaint. So that is one way you can use a Keepa graph to maybe guess that that's what's going on. If you look at a Keepa graph and you're like, whoa, 2 weeks ago, this price dropped like $30, and it seems like for no reason. Or maybe you might see the competitors on Keepa just completely drop off. And that might be because the competitors might have had their listings suppressed and because of an IP complaint. And so IP complaints are very funny because the complaint of intellectual property is actually about not the item you're selling, it's about the actual sales page. And maybe there's something in the sales page that is including information or an image that the intellectual property rights owner is not allowed someone to use that wording or that image. And so, they send a intellectual property dispute to like every seller trying to find the one who actually owns the actual, sales page for that particular item. So again, you can use a Keepa graph to kind of guess which items might have had recent intellectual property complaints on just by seeing either a huge drop in price or a huge drop in competitors. So that's something you could be on the lookout for in the future, so you can avoid that. Another tool that you can use to avoid IP complaints, there is an online arbitrage tool called IP Alert. I think it even has a phone app as well. You go to fulltimefba.com/IP Alert. That's IPALERT. That's a tool that you can use that will tell you this item has been flagged by other Amazon sellers as potentially an IP violation alert coming, and so you might want to stay away from it. So again, fulltimefba.com/IP Alert for that tool. And again, I think it also comes with an app. I'm not 100% sure, but it tells you which items have IP alerts. All right. Mark says, is that Aaron Judge's home run ball number 62 over your shoulder? No, it's not. I was there the day before, though. I was there at the stadium the day before he hit his record-breaking home run. Okay, American League breaking home run. I mean, overall, you can expect the price to tank if the number of competitors are going up. So it really has nothing to do with the current sales rank, because you know what? When prices drop, sales increase. So a good sales rank being good or bad, no impact on whether or not the price is going to, tank or whatever. So just, the number one reason why a price will tank is the number of competitors increasing. Again, supply and demand. When supply goes up, if demand does not meet it, the prices are going to go down. And then on the occasion, if there's an IP alert on a particular item and the prices just tank very quickly because people are just like, I just want to sell this, so I don't even have it in my stock anymore. That's a time where the prices are going to tank quickly. How do you determine how many items to buy of a specific product? That's a great question. I actually go very deep into it in the course, The Reseller's Guide to Keepa. I'll give you a quick version of kind of what to do, of how to know how much to buy. Overall, I look at the number of drops a particular item has, and then I look at the number of sellers who are selling that particular item who are priced competitively. Even if there's like 20 other sellers, I look at to see which of those sellers are actually priced competitively. So I actually go to an Amazon sales page, look at a particular item, and see which items are priced competitively. In fact, let me show you a few things on on Amazon. So I'm going to go to Amazon.com. I'm just going to pick some random. Here we go. Here's a Hot Wheels track. So one of the things that is offered with Keepa is the Keepa extension, which puts a Keepa graph right on an Amazon sales page. And so when you load up the Amazon sales page, and usually it's a lot faster. This is just the first time because I just opened it. But you can look and see this is a Keepa graph. Here's a sales rank. Here's a Keepa graph on a sales page. So one of the things that you can do when it comes to the competitors, I want to look at this. There's new condition, 7 sellers selling this particular item. Keepa helps deliver and let you know what the stock levels are of this item. So Amazon has this in stock. There's other third-party sellers. So Amazon or Keepa is telling me this particular person has 8 in stock. This particular person has 6 in stock. And again, this is something that comes with the Keepa paid subscription, where you can see the number of competitors and how many they have in stock. This one has 1 in stock. This one has 33 in stock. So you can kind of see, well, is a $92 priced item seller actually my competition? No. I mean, the current low price is $58.07. There's a $58. So I would like count up all of that. Right now, Keepa's not tracking how many items Amazon has in stock. If they can, they will, and they'll show it. But you kind of look at that number, and so I might go down here and see, like, okay, currently there are there's 7 or 8 offers. There are 87 drops per month. So I might go, okay, what's 87 divided by 8? So 87 divided by 8, that's about a little over 10 or 11 items. So I do the math and see, okay, if I were to join this particular item, I could probably expect, if we're all competitively priced, to get about 8 or 9 sales a month. So I'll usually like to buy a 2-month supply of an item, and then when it starts to sell, I'll go out and restock some more. So that's kind of what I do. Now, if Amazon, that's usually if Amazon's out of stock. If Amazon's in stock, I usually going to be priced lower than Amazon. I usually try not to compete with Amazon. I actually have a whole module in the course about how to use Keepa to compete against Amazon and actually win. But that's kind of how I decide how deep to go. Being able to look at the current number of sellers and take the drops and to make a division, because again, this is at least 87 sales per month. That doesn't mean that there's 87 sales. It means at least 87 sales per month. So that's kind of what that's the quick version. I have a whole lot deeper version of what to look at when it comes to knowing how many to buy of a particular item, how deep to go, and that is what walked through in the course. So good question, Marcus. When navigating the deals page, what settings are optimal for the best value finds? So the deal page, that's something that most people just kind of have to, everyone has their own business model when it comes to the items that they buy to sell on Amazon. And so the deals page is really just something to play around with and see what works best for you. And so I'm not sure what's optimal for me. The sourcing capital that I have, the experience that I have might not be the exact same when it comes to what's optimal for you, but you just play around with it. Again, make some mistakes and learn from them. Kelly says, Stephen, do you take current inventory into consideration or making good buying decisions? Does Keepa provide that data? So the current inventory, I guess you're talking about the number of competitors and the amount of current inventory that they have, or do you mean the current inventory that you happen to have on hand of that particular item? Either way, yeah, I do take into account the inventory status, whether there's certain stuff that are in stock or out of stock for me or other sellers when I'm making my buying decisions. So yeah, Keepa does show you the number of competitors, and then on the Amazon sales page with the Keepa extension, you can get that fulltimefba.com/Keepa extension. And again, sign up for Keepa, fulltimefba.com/Keepa to be able to sign up for Keepa. That extension will put the number of for most sellers will put how many they have in stock on that line. The only limitations for that is if Amazon as a seller or other sellers decide to turn on limit 2 per buyer, then you might just see that they have 2 in stock. So just know if you see a 2 as their stock levels, it might mean 2, it might be more than 2, so just tread lightly on that. Shaver says, the most recent Keepa statistics are more reliable. What do you say if we are looking at the Keepa stats of more than a year? Are they reliable to make mature decisions? So yeah, definitely the recent information is what's best to go on. I like to look at how things happened last year, mainly, especially seasonal items. I want to see how the pricing and sales rank impacted in previous years for seasonal items, because obviously they're going to sell faster in season and maybe even higher prices. Although there are some times when things are out of season and are selling for more because it's harder to find it. You can only find it on Amazon because it's out of season in the stores. So you look at that past and you don't rely on it as much as you do the current or most recent information, but it is something to put into your thought process when making buying decisions or deciding how deep to go or how to price. So that's seasonal items, and then also like Q4, how things price and the sales velocity you can expect in Q4. I like to look at that. Steven says, how do you approach items that have a suppressed buy box? So yeah, there is a buy box line on the Keepa graph, but if that line disappears, then you can see that's showing you if a buy box line disappears, that shows you that the buy box has been suppressed. So most of the time the buy box is suppressed when Amazon thinks that the prices are too high. They think prices are too high for the demand for that particular item, and Amazon has their own algorithm about that. But the buy box disappears on the Amazon sales page, and all you have is the click here for all the offer button. So you can look at a Keepa graph and see, okay, when the buy box disappeared, what was the price of the buy box when it disappeared? What was the price of the new third-party sellers when the buy box disappeared? And you can see, okay, well, you can also look at the sales rank and how the sales rank is trending. And so it's like, okay, Amazon thinks that that's priced too high. Maybe I won't be able to price it that high and still be able to earn the buy box. So you can look at the past to better know maybe how Amazon's going to handle the buy box in the future. Now, when it comes to Q4, sales velocity increases a lot, and it's pretty rare when a buy box disappears, especially November and December. Suppressed buy boxes are really rare in November and December. Amazon just wants to sell it. But most of the time, Amazon wants to have the lowest price possible. So it will suppress a buy box if they think your price too high. And you can look at a Keepa graph to see what the prices were when it was suppressed to kind of see, okay, maybe I'll price it a little bit lower. Is it still profitable if I price a little bit lower? And play around with that. Maybe price it at a profitable price, and if it goes live on Amazon and the buy box is still suppressed, then maybe start to lower it a little bit. So good question about that, Stephen. I appreciate that. Great name, by the way. Mary says, do you use Keepa along with Helium 10 or other apps? I do use Helium 10 mainly when I'm making wholesale sourcing decisions, but mostly I use Keepa because I do know Helium 10 will give you sort of a little bit of a pricing and sales rank history, but doesn't go the depth of what Keepa shows you, and the way it's interactive. I haven't even gotten into the fact that you can actually track items on Amazon where it's like, okay, it's not profitable right now, but I'll set up an alert, and Keepa will alert me when an item is profitable for me to go out and source. So Maybe there's an inventory item that you used to sell and you sell out and you're like, oh, I'm going to go buy some more. Oh, wait, it's not profitable anymore. Well, set up a Keepa alert and Keepa, you can say, hey, Keepa, alert me when the current low price passes this threshold. And then Keepa emails you or gives you an alert on your phone and says, hey, the price has recovered. And okay, it's time to go back, get some more, send them in. And so it's an awesome opportunity to be on top of your inventory with these opportunities that you've forgotten about, but Keepa reminds you with these alerts. It's an awesome thing, and I absolutely love it. And it's something that can really help you find more inventory, sell more on Amazon with those Keepa alerts. And I go all deep into how to set up a Keepa alert and different ways that you can set up Keepa alerts with different triggers for opportunities to make some good money. Got a lot of really great questions here. Dan says, does your Keepa course explain more about the automatic repricer tool? No, it does not. The automatic repricer tool that we use, you can find out more about that going to fulltimefba.com/bcoolreview. That's B, the letter B, QOOL, review. And that'll tell you about the repricer that we use. And Keepa's more about the information in the past to make better sourcing decision. Repricer is more about things in the future, how to make sure your price is always competitive. But fulltimefba.com/bcool review, BQOOL review. I'll walk you through that. Dan is rubbing it in that he was at Dodger Stadium for Pujols' 700th home run. I wish I could have been there. As you can see, I'm a big baseball fan. Ron says, can you set an alert and Keepa to tell you when Amazon goes out of stock? Yes, you can. You can definitely put an alert on Keepa to alert you when Amazon goes out of stock. So yeah, it's definitely creates an opportunity where you're not going to have Amazon, who almost is always the lowest priced seller of an item, to be a competition. It's you can also set another alert when Keepa comes back in stock, so you know how to adjust your prices or stock levels or sourcing strategies appropriately. BG says, do you have a minimum profit requirement when choosing products to sell? I don't. I mostly have ROI requirements. I try to get at least 20% ROI. A lot of stuff we get is more than that, but it all depends on the sales rank. Overall, the lower the sales rank is, the lower ROI I'm going to be comfortable with. The higher the sales rank, I'm going to need higher ROI because it might be slower to sell. So I want more wiggle room when it comes to repricing or storage fees. I'm getting a lot of thank you posts on this. I'm really glad that y'all are thankful for this. Dan says, does Keepa give you data for eBay sales as well? Yes, it's not as accurate or reliable as Amazon sales, but let me see if there's yes. So you can see here on the Keepa graph. Let me go this one here. All right, so this one has eBay new prices that show up, eBay used prices. So you can kind of see eBay price history in comparison. So this is also an opportunity for you if you want to do an eBay to Amazon flip, or maybe an Amazon to eBay flip. We're like, okay, I can buy it on eBay for $17, but sell it on Amazon for $32, doing a little flip stuff. Again, the eBay information that that you can see is not as reliable, but it's a good starting point. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Just want to remind everybody, again, the Reseller's Guide to Keepa, it's going to show you everything that you need to know about Keepa. It's going to break down things you never even knew Keepa could show you, so you can make better sourcing decisions, smarter sourcing decisions, make more money on Amazon. This is the thing that helped me turn the corner in my Amazon business. Knowing sales rank history, pricing history, buy box price history, competitor stock levels, competitor numbers of items they have in stock, the number of competitors, all that kind of stuff. You can make the best sourcing decisions. Stop buying inventory items that tank in price. Know how to deep to go on an inventory buy, how to compete against Amazon as a seller and win the next sale. So much stuff that can help you just revolutionize your Amazon business. Basically, if Keepa went out of business, I might go out of business as well. That's how vital Keepa is to my Amazon profits, my Amazon business overall, and I love it. I was going to wear it tonight. I even have a T-shirt with the Keepa logo on it. I love Keepa. It has really helped me in my Amazon business, and this is the number one thing that I teach my coaching students, the ones that want to pay $300 an hour to get on a coaching call to make better decisions. What I showed you, just scratching the surface of that, but this course is what's going to help you the most. FulltimeFBA.com/Keepa course. Don't forget to use the coupon code SAVE20 at checkout, and the price is going to be going up substantially very soon, so be sure to get it. 60-day money-back guarantee, lifetime updates. This is the only Keepa course you're ever going to need to purchase because I'm going to continue to update it. As Keepa announces new features, as Keepa changes things, we update the course. This course, it's been out for about 5 or 6 years now, maybe 7 years. And this is like version, 4.5 or whatever. We just continue to update it. We've like completely restarted and started over from scratch to start this in our most recent update. And what you get is going to be the best information to help you, again, get to a point where you just quickly glance at a Keepa graph and you go, okay, I know this is a winner, or okay, this is something I just need to put back on the shelf and move on. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. So again, FulltimeFBA.com/Keepa course. Grab this course. It's going to help revolutionize your Amazon business, and you're going to love it. Well, that's it for today. Thank you again so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys later. God bless everybody. Bye.